Neuroplasticity is the foundation of motor learning and skill development, and it is directly shaped by repeated movement and deliberate practice. Every motion, whether simple or complex, generates signals that travel from the muscles and joints to the brain, providing constant feedback about position, force, and velocity. This sensory input is processed by the motor cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia, which work together to refine motor commands and optimize movement efficiency. Over time, repeated activation of these circuits strengthens synaptic connections, enhances communication between neurons, and facilitates myelination of motor pathways, allowing movements to become faster, more precise, and less cognitively demanding. This process explains why consistent practice leads to mastery, turning initially challenging tasks into automatic, fluid actions. The motor cortex is central to initiating voluntary movements and adapting them based on experience. When learning a new skill, such as balancing on one leg, performing a complex dance sequence, or executing a precise throw, the motor cortex integrates sensory input with motor planning to produce coordinated actions. Initially, these movements require significant conscious effort because neural circuits are not yet fully optimized. Errors are common, and the brain relies heavily on feedback from proprioceptive sensors, vision, and vestibular input to correct performance. Each repetition reinforces the appropriate pathways and strengthens synapses, gradually encoding the movement as a reliable pattern that can be executed with less conscious attention. The cerebellum plays a complementary role by fine-tuning movement and ensuring smooth coordination. It compares intended motor commands with actual outcomes, detecting discrepancies and making rapid adjustments. Through repeated practice, the cerebellum contributes to predictive modeling of movement, allowing the body to anticipate necessary corrections in real time. This predictive capacity reduces errors, increases efficiency, and supports the automation of complex sequences, which is why skilled athletes and performers can execute precise actions under dynamic and unpredictable conditions. Genetic and environmental factors influence the rate and extent of these adaptations, but consistent practice remains the primary driver of cerebellar optimization. The basal ganglia contribute to motor learning by integrating reward and reinforcement signals with movement execution. When a movement produces a positive outcome, dopamine release reinforces the neural circuits involved, increasing the likelihood that the action will be repeated. This reinforcement system encourages exploration and gradual refinement of movement, linking success and reward to specific motor patterns. Over time, the basal ganglia help transition movements from conscious control to habitual execution, enabling multitasking and freeing cognitive resources for higher-order planning or strategic thinking during complex activities. Proprioception, the sense of body position and movement, is critical for neural plasticity in motor learning. Feedback from muscles, tendons, and joints informs the brain about spatial orientation, force, and velocity, guiding adjustments in real time. Repeated movement enhances the sensitivity and integration of proprioceptive signals, creating a finely tuned feedback loop that improves coordination and balance. This integration is particularly important for activities requiring precision, such as musical performance, gymnastics, or surgical skills, where minor adjustments can have significant consequences. Repetition alone is not sufficient. Deliberate, attentive practice is key. Movements must be performed with focus and awareness, emphasizing error detection and correction. Mental engagement accelerates synaptic strengthening, promotes efficient myelination, and enhances long-term retention of skills. Combining this conscious effort with variation, slightly altering speed, angle, or resistance, further optimizes neural adaptability, preparing the motor system to respond effectively to diverse challenges and unpredictable conditions. Movement profoundly influences cardiovascular function and neurochemical signaling, producing benefits that extend far beyond muscular strength and endurance. When the body engages in physical activity, the heart rate increases, pumping oxygen-rich blood more efficiently to muscles, organs, and the brain. This enhanced circulation delivers critical nutrients and oxygen, supporting tissue repair, metabolic efficiency, and the removal of metabolic waste. For the brain, increased blood flow is particularly significant because it fuels regions involved in cognition, motor control, and emotional regulation, ensuring that neurons have the energy and substrates needed to function optimally. Regular movement thus establishes a foundation for both physical and mental resilience. One of the most important neurochemical benefits of movement is the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons. BDNF enhances synaptic plasticity, allowing neural circuits to adapt more effectively in response to learning and experience. Physical activity elevates BDNF levels in key brain regions such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, promoting memory consolidation, learning, and executive function. This neuroplastic effect explains why individuals who engage in consistent aerobic exercise often demonstrate improved attention, problem-solving ability, and cognitive flexibility. The production of BDNF is dose-dependent and responsive to both intensity and duration of exercise, highlighting the importance of structured, consistent movement practices. In addition to BDNF, movement influences neurotransmitter systems that regulate mood, motivation, and reward. Dopamine, a central mediator of motivation and goal-directed behavior, is elevated through physical activity, enhancing the perceived reward of effort and increasing the likelihood of repeated engagement in healthy behaviors. Serotonin, another neurotransmitter affected by movement, plays a role in mood stabilization, impulse control, and social behavior. Regular exercise promotes balanced serotonin signaling, which contributes to reduced anxiety, improved emotional regulation, and greater resilience to stress. These neurochemical changes are particularly relevant for cognitive and emotional health, linking movement directly to enhanced psychological well-being. Cardiovascular improvements from movement also indirectly support brain function by maintaining vascular health and metabolic efficiency. Exercise strengthens the heart, increases stroke volume, and enhances capillary density, all of which improve oxygen and nutrient delivery. Better vascular health reduces the risk of hypertension, stroke, and other conditions that can impair cognitive function. Similarly, improved insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism from movement provide stable energy availability for neurons, which is critical for sustaining cognitive performance during demanding tasks. Different types of exercise produce distinct patterns of neurochemical and cardiovascular adaptation. Aerobic activities such as running, swimming, or cycling are particularly effective at increasing blood flow, stimulating BDNF production, and enhancing endurance. Resistance training also contributes by promoting hormonal responses, including growth hormone and testosterone release, which support muscle repair and metabolic function. Coordination and balance exercises further engage neural circuits involved in sensory integration and motor planning, enhancing the brain's ability to process complex input and execute precise output. High-intensity interval training challenges both cardiovascular and neural systems, producing acute spikes in neurochemical signaling and metabolic demand that drive adaptive responses. The timing, consistency, and intentionality of movement further modulate these benefits. Regular, repeated exercise creates cumulative effects on neurochemical release, synaptic plasticity, and cardiovascular conditioning. Even short bouts of activity throughout the day, such as walking, stair climbing, or stretching, can produce measurable increases in blood flow, neurotransmitter activity, and cognitive alertness. Combining variety with progressive challenge ensures that neural circuits and cardiovascular systems are continually stimulated, promoting sustained adaptation and long-term resilience. Ultimately, movement acts as a bridge between the body and brain, linking cardiovascular efficiency with neurochemical regulation. By increasing blood flow, delivering nutrients, stimulating BDNF, and modulating neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, movement enhances cognitive function, emotional stability, and overall physiological health, creating a foundation for optimal performance, resilience, and long-term well-being. Different types of movement elicit distinct physiological, neurological, and psychological adaptations, making it essential to understand how specific modalities influence the body and brain. Aerobic exercise, resistance training, coordination drills, balance practice, and high-intensity interval training each target unique systems, producing specialized benefits that complement one another when incorporated into a comprehensive movement program. By recognizing the differential effects of these modalities, individuals can optimize performance, cognitive function, and overall health while reducing the risk of injury and overtraining. Aerobic exercise, which includes activities such as running, swimming, cycling, and brisk walking, primarily challenges the cardiovascular and respiratory systems. Sustained rhythmic movement increases heart rate and stroke volume, enhancing oxygen delivery to tissues and improving capillary density. These adaptations support endurance, metabolic efficiency, and the body's ability to sustain prolonged physical activity. Aerobic exercise also elevates levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, promoting neurogenesis, synaptic plasticity, and cognitive performance, particularly in areas such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. By stimulating both cardiovascular and neural systems, aerobic training supports learning, memory, attention, and emotional regulation, making it critical not only for physical health, but for mental performance. Resistance training, encompassing weightlifting, bodyweight exercises, and resistance band work, primarily targets muscular strength, power, and hypertrophy. This form of movement generates mechanical tension and metabolic stress, prompting muscle fibers to adapt and grow stronger over time. Resistance training also influences the endocrine system by increasing growth hormone and testosterone production, which support tissue repair, metabolic health, and protein synthesis. Neural adaptations are equally significant. Repeated resistance exercise strengthens motor unit recruitment, coordination, and intermuscular synchronization, allowing individuals to lift heavier loads more efficiently and with better control. These adaptations also enhance functional performance in daily life, supporting balance, posture, and injury prevention. Balance and coordination exercises, such as yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, or agility drills, refine proprioception and sensory integration. The brain constantly receives feedback from the vestibular system, muscles, tendons, and joints, and coordination-focused movement trains neural circuits to interpret and respond to this information more effectively. This improves spatial awareness, postural control, and fine motor skills. Enhanced proprioception not only reduces the risk of falls and injuries, but also strengthens connections between the cerebellum and motor cortex, facilitating precise, controlled movement across a variety of physical tasks. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, combines bursts of maximal effort with periods of recovery, challenging both anaerobic and aerobic energy systems simultaneously. HIIT drives rapid cardiovascular, metabolic, and neuromuscular adaptation, teaching the body to switch efficiently between energy demands. The intense periods of exertion also stimulate robust neurochemical responses, including dopamine and serotonin release, enhancing motivation, reward sensitivity, and emotional resilience. Over time, HIIT improves both performance and efficiency across multiple systems, promoting endurance, strength, and neural adaptability in a compressed time frame. Integrating a variety of movement types provides synergistic benefits. Aerobic exercise builds cardiovascular and metabolic resilience. Resistance training develops strength and muscular coordination, and balance and agility work refine precision and sensory integration. Combining these modalities ensures comprehensive development of the body and nervous system, improving performance, reducing injury risk, and enhancing cognitive and emotional function. Variety also stimulates adaptive neuroplasticity, preventing plateaus and encouraging continuous improvement in skill acquisition, coordination, and motor learning. Timing, intensity, and progression further influence outcomes, gradually increasing load, complexity, or duration challenges, the systems being trained without overwhelming them, allowing adaptation to occur efficiently. Similarly, alternating modalities supports recovery, encourages sustained engagement, and promotes balanced development across multiple physiological and neural domains. A well-rounded movement practice leverages the unique effects of each modality while creating a cumulative impact that enhances physical performance, neural efficiency, and overall health. By understanding the modality-specific effects of movement, individuals can design programs that strategically target cardiovascular, muscular, sensory, and neural systems. This approach maximizes adaptation, supports cognitive and emotional function, and ensures that movement is both a practical and powerful tool for lifelong health, performance, and resilience. Deliberate practice and feedback loops are central to developing skill, efficiency, and mastery in movement. Movement is not merely about repetition, it requires attention, awareness, and a structured approach to refine motor patterns and optimize neural pathways. Each time a movement is performed, sensory systems, including proprioception, vision, and vestibular input, send signals to the brain, which integrates this information to evaluate performance. Errors, even subtle ones, provide critical feedback that the nervous system uses to adjust future actions. Through this iterative process of execution, evaluation, and correction, neural circuits in the motor cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia are strengthened and fine-tuned, allowing for smoother, more precise, and increasingly automatic movements over time. Deliberate practice involves more than merely repeating a task. It requires focused attention on specific aspects of performance, with the goal of correcting errors and improving efficiency. For example, a person learning a complex movement sequence, such as a gymnastics routine or a tennis serve, must isolate individual components, body positioning, timing, force production, and assess their execution in real time. Sensory feedback informs the brain about deviations from the intended movement, triggering neural adjustments that improve coordination. This process engages the prefrontal cortex for planning and error monitoring, the cerebellum for fine-tuning and timing, and the basal ganglia for reinforcement of successful patterns, creating a comprehensive network that supports motor learning. Feedback loops are essential for transforming conscious effort into automatic, efficient movement. During early practice, cognitive resources are heavily engaged as the brain monitors performance, anticipates potential errors, and adjusts accordingly. With repetition and correction, synaptic connections between relevant neural circuits are strengthened and myelination increases, improving signal transmission speed. Over time, movements that once required conscious attention become fluid and automatic, freeing cognitive capacity for higher-order tasks such as strategic planning or multitasking. This transition from effortful execution to automaticity is a hallmark of mastery and represents the culmination of effective feedback-driven practice. The quality of feedback significantly influences the efficiency of motor learning. External feedback, such as coaching cues, video analysis, or environmental responses, provides objective information about performance, while internal feedback, including proprioceptive and kinesthetic awareness, allows the individual to sense subtle errors in positioning or force production. Optimal learning occurs when both forms of feedback are integrated, creating a rich informational environment that guides precise neural adaptation. Feedback must be timely, specific, and actionable. Delayed or vague input is less effective in reinforcing desired motor patterns. Variation within practice is another key factor in optimizing feedback-driven learning. Slightly altering speed, load, angle, or context forces the nervous system to continuously adapt, enhancing flexibility and problem-solving in motor control. This variability strengthens neural pathways by challenging circuits to generalize skills across different conditions, increasing resilience to unexpected perturbations and improving overall performance. Structured variability, combined with focused repetition, accelerates neuroplasticity and ensures that movements are adaptable and reliable. Mental engagement amplifies the effects of deliberate practice. Visualization, mindfulness, and cognitive rehearsal activate the same neural circuits involved in actual movement, reinforcing synaptic connections and improving skill acquisition even when the body is at rest. Integrating these cognitive strategies with physical repetition creates a comprehensive feedback loop that accelerates learning and enhances precision. In essence, deliberate practice and feedback loops transform movement from a conscious effort into a highly efficient, automated system. By emphasizing attention, error correction, variability, and cognitive engagement, the nervous system refines motor patterns, strengthens synaptic connections, and optimizes myelination, creating a foundation for skilled, precise, and adaptable movement. Movement has a profound impact on mental and emotional health, shaping mood, stress resilience, and cognitive function. Physical activity activates multiple neurochemical systems in the brain, including dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and endorphins, all of which contribute to emotional regulation and reward processing. Dopamine enhances motivation and reinforces engagement in movement by making physical activity intrinsically rewarding, creating a positive feedback loop that encourages consistency. Serotonin stabilizes mood and reduces anxiety, while norepinephrine improves attention and alertness, supporting both cognitive performance and emotional clarity. Endorphins act as natural analgesics and mood elevators, reducing perceptions of pain and generating a sense of well-being. Collectively, these neurochemical responses explain why consistent movement is strongly associated with reduced depression, heightened resilience to stress, and improved overall mental health. Stress regulation is one of the most immediate and measurable benefits of movement. Physical activity lowers cortisol, the primary stress hormone, while simultaneously activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and recovery. Aerobic activities, resistance training, and even short bouts of dynamic movement increase heart rate variability, a marker of the body's ability to adapt to stressors. These physiological changes enhance emotional stability, making individuals better equipped to handle daily challenges, interpersonal conflicts, and unexpected stressors. The calming and restorative effects of movement extend beyond the session itself, creating lasting improvements in stress resilience that accumulate with consistent practice. Sleep quality is closely linked to regular movement, and the relationship is bidirectional. Exercise helps regulate circadian rhythms, promoting more consistent sleep onset and deeper restorative stages of sleep. Physical activity increases core body temperature temporarily, and the subsequent drop in temperature following exercise signals the body to prepare for sleep, enhancing sleep efficiency. Improved sleep further supports cognitive function, mood regulation, and hormonal balance, reinforcing the benefits of movement on overall mental health. Individuals who maintain a consistent movement routine often report fewer sleep disturbances, greater energy during the day, and enhanced emotional clarity. Movement also strengthens social and reward circuits in the brain, particularly when activities are performed in groups or with partners. Team sports, group fitness classes, and partner exercises promote social engagement, cooperation, and shared accomplishment, which in turn enhance feelings of connection and emotional support. Positive social interactions release oxytocin, reinforcing trust, empathy, and emotional attunement, further contributing to mental well-being. Even solitary movement can stimulate reward pathways, as the sense of accomplishment and mastery reinforces motivation and self-efficacy. Cognitive benefits are another critical aspect of movement's impact on mental health. Exercise stimulates neurogenesis, synaptic plasticity, and growth factor production, particularly in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. These adaptations enhance memory, learning, executive function, and decision-making, supporting both emotional regulation and mental resilience. The attentional demands of coordinated movement, balance exercises, or skill acquisition further engage neural networks responsible for focus, planning, and error correction, strengthening cognitive flexibility and problem-solving abilities. Short bouts of activity integrated throughout the day, walking, stretching, or light resistance movements, provide cumulative benefits, maintaining neurochemical balance, regulating mood, and supporting consistent cognitive function. Movement is not only a tool for physical performance, but a powerful mechanism for enhancing emotional resilience, mental clarity, and long-term psychological well-being, creating a foundation for adaptive and healthy responses to life's challenges. The timing, variability, and progression of movement are critical factors in optimizing performance, preventing injury, and maximizing long-term health outcomes. Movement is not a one-size-fits-all activity. The effects of exercise on the nervous system, muscular system, and cardiovascular system are highly dependent on when, how, and under what conditions it is performed. Circadian rhythms, energy availability, environmental context, and prior experience all influence the physiological and neurological responses to movement. Strategically considering these variables allows individuals to harness the full benefits of physical activity while promoting adaptation, recovery, and resilience. Timing of movement is closely linked to circadian biology. The body's internal clock regulates hormone release, core body temperature, and neural excitability throughout the day, influencing energy, focus, and motor performance. Morning movement, for instance, can enhance alertness by increasing sympathetic nervous system activity and promoting dopamine release, which primes motivation and focus for the day ahead. Early exposure to natural light during outdoor exercise further entrains circadian rhythms, improving sleep quality, mood regulation, and hormonal balance. Afternoon or evening workouts may be advantageous for strength, power, or high-intensity performance, as body temperature peaks later in the day, improving muscle elasticity, joint mobility, and force output. Understanding these rhythms allows individuals to schedule movement for optimal performance and physiological adaptation. Variability in movement, altering intensity, speed, range of motion, or modality, is essential for stimulating comprehensive adaptation in the body and brain. Consistently repeating the same exercises without variation can lead to plateaus, reduced neuromuscular engagement, and overuse injuries. By incorporating diverse movements such as alternating between aerobic and resistance training, integrating balance and coordination exercises, or varying the load and tempo, the nervous system is continuously challenged to adapt. This variability enhances synaptic plasticity, improves proprioception, and strengthens motor pathways, leading to greater coordination, skill retention, and resilience to unpredictable physical demands. Variable practice also encourages problem solving and motor control, allowing the brain to develop flexible strategies for movement execution across different contexts. Progression is another critical component for optimizing movement outcomes. Gradually increasing intensity, duration, complexity, or resistance ensures that physiological and neural systems are sufficiently challenged without exceeding recovery capacity. Progressive overload stimulates muscular hypertrophy, cardiovascular efficiency, and neural adaptation while minimizing the risk of injury. Without systematic progression, gains in strength, endurance, and skill may plateau and motivation may decline. Careful planning of progressive movement also allows for adequate recovery, ensuring that the central nervous system, musculoskeletal system, and connective tissues adapt effectively to increased demands. Recovery periods are an integral part of timing, variability, and progression. Movement imposes stress on tissues and neural circuits, and adaptation occurs during rest and repair phases. Sufficient recovery enhances muscle repair, replenishes neurotransmitter levels, consolidates motor learning, and reduces inflammation. Inadequate recovery impairs performance, increases injury risk, and can diminish the neurochemical and cognitive benefits of exercise. Strategically alternating intensity, modality, and rest intervals ensures that adaptation is optimized across cardiovascular, muscular, and neural systems. Integrating timing, variability, and progression also supports psychological engagement and motivation. Novelty in movement prevents boredom and promotes adherence, while strategically scheduled sessions enhance focus, energy, and consistency. By aligning movement with internal biological rhythms, challenging multiple systems through varied modalities, and progressing systematically, individuals can maximize performance, neuroplasticity, and overall well-being. Ultimately, understanding and applying these principles ensures that movement is not merely physical exertion, but a precise tool for optimizing health, cognitive function, and emotional resilience. Proper timing, thoughtful variation, and progressive challenge create a comprehensive framework in which the nervous system, muscular system, and cardiovascular system adapt efficiently, producing lasting benefits across multiple domains of human performance and vitality. When timing, variability, and progression are applied consistently and intentionally, movement becomes a powerful tool for enhancing both body and brain function. By aligning exercise with circadian rhythms, incorporating diverse modalities, and gradually increasing challenge, the nervous system, musculoskeletal system, and cardiovascular system are optimized simultaneously. This approach not only maximizes performance and skill acquisition, but also supports recovery, prevents injury, and promotes long-term health. Over time, these principles create a sustainable, adaptive movement practice that strengthens physical capacity, cognitive function, and emotional resilience, ensuring that the benefits of movement extend across every aspect of daily life and overall well-being.